Funerals have been held in Gaza for victims of the latest Israeli airstrikes. Palestinian media say at least 30 people died on Monday and Tuesday, including women and children. The Israeli military says that it was targeting a militant weapons storage facility. Hundreds have died in Israel's increased attacks on northern Gaza in recent weeks. Staying with Israel, the Israeli Prime Minister's office says that Benjamin Netanyahu has fired his Defense Minister Gallant. The Prime Minister is reported to have said that there are too many gaps between him and Gallant over management of Israel's wars. Gallant will be replaced by the current Foreign Minister, Israel Katz. Our DW's Emily Gordine, she's in Jerusalem covering this story for us. Emily, Netanyahu says that there are, I'm quoting here, too many gaps between him and his former defense minister. What does he mean with those gaps?
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, who we must remember both stand accused of committing war crimes in Gaza by the International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor, the two of them have not been seeing eye to eye on the course of Israel's multi-front war in Gaza. For example, Gallant has been in favor of reaching a ceasefire deal, of ending the war and getting the hostages out. Benjamin Netanyahu has been against that, not least because he knows that the ultra-nationalist members of his coalition government would threaten to break up said government if he signed such a ceasefire deal. And more recently, we've seen deep divisions in the Israeli government over a bill that would exclude the ultra-Orthodox in Israel from military service. Now, Gallant has been opposed to this exemption. He says that the Israeli army currently needs all the recruits it can get, but the ultra-Orthodox parties that are members of this government are, of course, in favor of this exemption, and they have also threatened to leave the government if they don't get their way. That puts Benjamin Netanyahu under enormous pressure, and that is also, it seems, why he also fired his Defense Minister Yoav Gallant now.
And you have to ask about the timing. Why fire him now?
Well, of course, this comes in the shadow of really what is the height of the American elections. So it would appear that Benjamin Netanyahu is hoping for a Trump win that he believes would potentially give him more leeway in the way he conducts this war. But I think that would be a very high gamble. And I think this decision now to fire Yoav Gallant really comes down to the internal political pressures in Israel right now. And but at the same time, you also have to remember that this is coming at a time when Israel could potentially face an attack from Iran soon, given the statements, given the very serious threats that we've been hearing from the Iranian government. So firing Yoav Gallant, his defense minister, who has years and decades of military experience and who also has very strong ties to the Americans and who is seen as, you know, the trustworthy point of contact, is quite a dangerous moment. That's criticism. That's also the criticism that we're hearing from other Israeli politicians and from civil society, really.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, how are people reacting to the sacking of a popular defense minister?
Well, frankly, it's led to uproar in Israel. Several politicians have come out calling for mass demonstrations. We're seeing thousands of demonstrators taking to the streets in Tel Aviv, in Haifa, in Jerusalem, and even in other parts of northern Israel where we haven't really seen any protests in the last couple of months. And hostage families have also come out accusing Netanyahu of prioritizing the survival of this government, or to put it more bluntly, his own political survival over the actual needs and interests and the security of the country.
DW's Emily Gordine with the latest in Jerusalem tonight. Emily, thank you.